Hello and welcome to the second part of MTG Study session 1-1 or 11-0 or again 110. I need to figure out how to properly call the numbers from now on. My name is Alex and today we will continue to play Study Magic, continue to give away some beta keys, which we still didn't give away because no one wants them for some freaking reason. It's freaking frustrating. When you want to give things to people, there's no one to get those. This is the story of my life truly. You want to help people, but no one wants your help. Yep, this is kind of the thing. But again, time will heal all wounds, and at some point, all these things will work themselves out, I believe. Yeah, you just need to push through. Yeah, check the sound, continue, and continue. Yeah, you just need to push through. Because right here we need to check the sound because this program is pretty weird on sound. If it's going to stutter or whatever at the beginning, I know how to recover it to make it better. So yeah, today's session's name is Brewers Delight. Throughout the session, the remaining hour of the session, we will focus on Brewers Delight, kind of a new type of event, pretty weird event. I already played multiple runs in this event. It's kind of cool. It's not necessarily the best event, but it's definitely free-to-play kind of casual event, and I guess this is the thing that this event is basically based on. The free-to-play element. We might open additional deck today. Hopefully we'll get to a 5 to 15 wins. Hopefully we'll get through the quest. So again, we're going to focus on the mono green today because this is the easiest thing to do. And also I kind of chose for myself a free-to-play, my main free-to-play deck. Again, I multiple times said that green is my favorite color in general, and I especially love green in Magic because I love like what green does in general. And my favorite probably combination is a Golgari combination, and the second favorite combination is Selesnya probably, because I love like lifelink in general and like mixing the life with death and mixing the forest with death and something like this. So for now, mainly we're playing only with 4 decks. Best of 3 we're playing with Color Seekers, a Singleton we're playing with just Seekers, kind of renamed them a bit. The Victory Seekers we're playing only in Constructed, which is basically for rank. And we're focusing on free-to-play games, just like basic free-to-play games. Usually in free-to-play games we might choose any deck that we want, but in most cases I'm going to stick to my favorite 3 deck. So yeah, I guess this is the thing that we're going to do. So the last thing that I will do though, I'm going to walk through the deck quickly. Again, the specialization for this deck focuses on fighting creatures. So there's a lot of things. We added a couple of cards from M12 or from M19. We added a couple of cards from Kaladesh, which is pretty cool. This deck definitely becomes a little bit more like interesting, I'd say, and a little bit more diverse than it was before. It kind of like works with counters too. So we have a couple of spells that work with counters here. Big spells, a couple of combos in here that basically will work perfectly. Again, this card I added like yesterday. Or actually today, I don't remember, but either way, it's one of the newest cards that I maintain. Kind of that's it. We have pretty like big mana threshold in here, but the thing is, and not that many lands, but the cool thing is that we have a lot of land searchers, especially in the forms of 4 where are these guys? Ranging Raptors, and they basically allows us to search for a lot of lands. Also we have a couple of creatures that produce lands, and basically not a couple of, but a lot of them, and basically because of this we not necessarily scarce in terms of lands. Usually we have more than enough. So yeah, let's just go, continue, and while playing I'm going to talk about changes in Magic MTG Study streaming. Go! Yeah, we're going to stick to Brewers Delight, launch it, pay, yeah, the cool thing is, after stress test they granted us 500 gold, as I properly remember, which is pretty cool. So now I have 24,000, which is pretty interesting. 1,000, not 100. So basically how this brewer works, for 0 wins we're just getting 2 cards, for 1 win we're getting 1 rare and 2 commons, 2 rares and 2 uncommons for 2, and for 3 wins we're getting basic 6 cards. The only problem with this, most of the cards that I acquired so far, I already have all of them, so they read that they are outside of the current meta, but they're not. They still kind of, I believe, in meta. But again, the game creators know the best, the developers know the best, so I'm not going to fight with those decisions. So hopefully we'll get something interesting, because so far I didn't get any card that I would need. I mean, most of the cards were pretty useless in terms of even like to play for fun. They just gave us like 4 or 3 copies of one card, like out of 6. Why would I need those? I mean, I already have most of them, and usually 2 copies is more than enough for me in all of the decks. But again, go. While we're going to play, I am going to talk about a couple of things. So first is a little bit of change that we're implementing in MTG Studies that I talked at the end of the previous stream, and I'm like the part of the stream, and I'm going to talk, of course, at the beginning of the MTG Arena part of the session. So from now on, we're going to, this is the last Friday for MTG Study in English. Like scheduled stream. From now on we're going to focus, okay, this is pretty interesting, so it's actually better to put this and this first. It will allow us to place something with double land and put something with the tapped land next turn. Yep. Oh good, we even will be able to play something with 3, which is actually better. Good. I'm playing with against Golgari deck, which is pretty interesting. Kind of interesting what's there. What's out there? Okay, we have pretty interesting combination right now. We have more than enough lands we need. We're still not going to... ideally, right now, we kind of, I believe, should focus on not putting big creatures in play, but instead... No, let's just focus on putting big creatures in play. Why the freak not? That way we will be able to deal a lot of damage as fast as possible. It's not the fastest deck, it's relatively... Okay. So yeah, you see now I have this problem. Now we need to put a lot of things that will give us mana. And we will attack with both. Again, if opponent is going to block 2/3, it's just going to give us additional land, which is pretty cool. We need those, especially if opponent is going to destroy all of our creatures. Taking it. One thing that I still don't know how to properly use is, like, should I use every Range Interrupter ability or should I skip at some point? Because each time that I'm going to reshuffle the library, I'm creating a pretty bad possibility of drawing land after land after land and after land, which is bad. For this deck it's not necessarily a bad thing. The more lands we have here, the better usually. But I don't know, it's kind of halfway. Oh snap. Yeah, we're not going to be able to do that, unfortunately. Yeah, we'll continue to attack with this only in order to provoke 1/3 on defense and get more lands, which is one of the things with this deck. So yeah, getting back to what I talked about. So again, I still need to figure out how to properly use Range Interrupter in terms of should I actually draw a land each time, because the more lands I'm going to draw, the more possibility that we're going to have less lands in the deck, and that means that each card potentially going to be not a land, but actually a creature or a spell of other kind. But again, there's two sides to it. I could get either a lot of lands in hand, which happened a lot, which usually is fine. Okay, this is definitely something that we need to do. We need to destroy Tooth 4 with this. And then we need to tap with Exert, untap 2 lands. Play this. And attack with all. And I guess we're winning this. I don't believe that opponent... The only thing that opponent could do is put Massive Destroyer. And this is probably one of the reasons why opponent still in play. So next turn, we might lose all of our creatures, which is going to be super devastating. I mean, 5 health, like crazy amount of creatures, we should win, and we're winning. Good. So opponent didn't have any Massive Destroyers, which is awesome. Ooh, snap, I get it to tier 3. How awesome is that? Is it awesome? Cool, claiming prizes, going continue. Again, this format is pretty interesting. I mean, you're getting cards. Getting those cards is pretty easy. The only problem is they're not necessarily in the meta, which is a problem because I would rather get something interesting than get something that I already have or something that I'm not going to use. Although I'm presenting myself as a free-to-play player or as basically a casual player, and for me these type of cards are actually valuable. It's probably not the best hand to take though. Probably a mistake, but let's see. Hopefully it's going to work. So yeah, getting back to what I talked about in terms of like Magic. So from now on, Magic is going to... so this is the last Friday that we're going to stream. Hello! Where's Jidikata? This is the weirdest nick ever. So yeah, we're going to stream from now on English streams only once per week. I believe this is completely fine thing to do because again, if we would have audience, that way we would probably continue to stream like twice a week. But right now we have 0 audience, unfortunately, and because of this I kind of need to try something new, diversify, and try to attract a Russian audience, because again I believe that in English audience there's too much competition from like nowadays, especially on Fridays. Fridays are usually I have 0 viewers, not even like viewers, I have 0 people that actually like entering. Okay, this is interesting. Definitely can do that. It's probably not the best idea to do this right now, but at the same time, I mean, we could keep it like for later and use it on something bigger, but it's actually better to use it now. That way we will deal damage, we'll potentially... We will have a lot of fighting creatures, so right now opponent might potentially steal away our champion, or steal away next turn. So hopefully it's not going to happen. In this particular case, if you're playing against this type of deck, I believe keeping Steal Away for later is a bad idea. Yeah, it's a good idea to use it right now, because then I could use an additional fighting thing and deal additional damage. This is not something that opponent would want. Okay, good. So with this, I believe we have multiple choices. The first thing that we will do is... no, I'm not going to do that now. Just cancel. Yeah, we're going to wait. There's a possibility that we're going to, after block, sacrifice 3/4 to bring back our 5/4. Something that... Oh, sorry about that. Oh no. Okay, this is definitely something that we have to destroy, because it's going to give all these guys pretty big things. Okay, I don't believe that opponent will attack. Or will. No. So yeah, I have to kill this thing. It's not necessarily the best idea because we have 0 creatures, but... Oh, damn it. Yeah, probably it was a mistake. either way, we need creatures. Or we need additional lands to use this. We have it. So next turn we... Oh, damn it, you gotta be kidding me. 2 copies? That's bad. So yeah, and basically I decided to diversify, and okay, it is not going to help us. So the only hope that we're going to get something that is going to give us lifelink, hopefully. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. This is the worst case scenario. Truly the worst case scenario. Ugh. Yep. Yep. This is truly the worst case scenario. And we have to fight it. Nothing nice, man. Good game, we're losing. Yeah, while opponent is finishing us, continue. So again, because of this, I decided to diversify and kind of focus a little bit more on... let's go with lightning. And focus more on basically not only English streams but on Russian streams too, because again we might get an audience. I tested a couple of times like bringing the Russian streams, and actually I had like some like a little bit better success than before, which is pretty cool. So we might definitely think about doing this. Yeah, we're losing. I don't know how many people are going to actually watch after 10 p.m. because in Moscow time it's not like the best time for people to watch things. But again, before going to sleep, some people might like hang out for an hour or basically for 2, kind of have fun. That way maybe we will kind of start to create some type of community, because right now the main kind of thing that I want to focus on is to building the community, and so far I'm not that good at it, because again, for me it's pretty awkward to talk with people. I'm considering myself an extroverted person, but when it comes down to like talking with people, especially at the beginning, and when I'm talking with people in non-native language, I'm getting too nervous and starting to go all over the place when it comes down to speaking and talking, and I'm not like providing a good like the first impression, I believe. This is one of the things I believe that basically this is one of the reasons why people are probably not staying in my streams. So yeah, and by diversifying on an English audience and a Russian audience, I believe it's actually a good idea to do this. It's something that I am thinking about like right from the beginning. When I decided to stream, I basically I was struggled with the choices. I didn't know what to choose. I wanted so badly to kind of stream in Russian, but I knew that yes, there's less competition there, but it's not the main goal. I mean, my main goal is to like hit or impact, or I don't know, basically to influence as much of the audience as possible. Is because of this I'm choosing the international language, not like because of the other reasons. Again, just because of this, just because for the business is the best choice ever. Okay, this is not a good thing. I mean, opponent probably has a counter spell. Whenever you draw a card, each opponent puts the top 2 cards of their library into the graveyard. This is not good. This is not good. So yeah, even right now I'm rambling about nothing. I mean, I'm just talking about the things that you're probably not interested in, but at the same time, this is the way that my streams are going. Again, I'm just being me. I'm not trying to be anyone else. I will talk about things, I will talk about like stuff that you're probably not going to be interested in that much, but again, as long as we keep in conversation, as long as I'm creating certain type of kind of themes to talk about, I believe if we're going to have audience, the community will be super awesome and engaging, and this is the whole idea. Not to just sit here and quietly play, but actually engage in conversation. But again, personally for me it's harder. I'm pretty like accustomed to the just going through the monologue, talking to the camera, so probably like making YouTube videos is pretty comfortable for me in terms of that. But speaking with the like one-on-one with audience, it's much harder for me, because it's pretty hard to focus on certain things, and usually my thoughts are all over the place. It's pretty hard to kind of create some type of continuity. Oh, you gotta be kidding me with this bullshit. Ah, sorry about bull crap. Yeah, we're not going to need that. Yeah, we're not going to win that. Let's just concede though. Because it's just no way. We don't have anything. Even if we're going to get proper lands, it's just not waste time. The opponent is just going to counter all of our spells. It's just not worth it. Boom! So yeah, continuing. And also, I started to work on a lot of things to implement in Magic, so I will start to work on a new things that we will implement in streams at some point. So the next week, again, we're going to continue with 111 episodes for MTG Study in English, which again is going to be the same. Pretty cool. The first hour we're going to play Study Magic, and the second hour we're going to play Study Magic. And from now on Tuesdays we're going to focus on the English Magic streams, but on Fridays we're going to stream in Russian. There's going to be a 2-hour stream, and we're going to just play Magic. That's it. Of course, English viewers are welcomed in Russian stream too, which is one of the coolest streams with the Russian streams. They could be diversified just because the English language is international. If Russian would be international language, I would do the same for English and created an English stream and then speak Russian throughout the stream too. But again, I can't stream multilingual streams, unfortunately, because then I will upload them into a certain playlist on my YouTube channel, and it's not going to fit this playlist. And if playlist in English and I'm going to produce a not mixed language content, is just going to be confusing for audience, and I don't want to do that. Okay, we have multiple choices right here. So the first thing we're going to do is this, and then we're going to make it fight probably Goblin. So enters the battlefield, deals to damage target, but okay, it's already done. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, this one deals to damage to each opponent. Yeah, we're definitely need to kill that guy right away. Let's just do that. Trigger land. Get ourselves a Mortal Lens, which is pretty cool. Also, this creature got a +1 counter, which will make for the opponent harder to kill it, which is pretty cool. So yeah. Also, besides of changing these type of things, changing the schedule, again, the schedule for the most part stays the same. The only reason is just basically it's going to be a little bit more diverse. So we're going to stream English streams on Tuesdays, and we're going to stream at the same schedule on Fridays Russian streams in Russian. Ideally, it would be awesome if Magic. Okay, we're not going to block that. Opponent definitely has a shock or something like this, or magma spray to kill 3/4. We don't want that. Or that, yeah, first strike. Yeah, I already played against these type of decks, by the way. That works with the first strike, and it's a pretty common one. Mono red with first strike, and a lot of instants and sorceries triggers. It's pretty cool. Okay, this is interesting. Gonna have a lot of choices at this point, so we're definitely going to play this land. Then we need to fight, and we need to fight again. So first, what we will do is going to do this. 1, 2, 3. We're going to fight that guy. In order to attack, and we're probably also going to fight that guy with that guy. Not not fight, but just deal damage, which is much better, and attack. And also we will stay in defense, which is pretty cool. If something with haste is going to enter, we will be able to block it, so cool. So yeah, continuing. And besides diversifying streams on Russian and English, I also want to implement the same. I will, by the way, do for the creative streams. I already added information in the panels. Basically, you can check out. You will be able to check out this information there if you want. So just pretty cool. So we actually have more than enough things to. Definitely the library. Definitely the library. Now let's just deal this damage to this guy and attack with the rest. We're not necessarily winning. We have the upper hand, but not for a long time, because now we're top decking. At least we know what the next card is. Yeah, it kind of becomes pretty confusing. I probably made a mistake by playing this one, but the reason why I kept it, because the opponent has a lot of small spells, like small creatures, and it actually is going to benefit us a lot, I believe. So yeah, the second thing that I working on right now. So in terms of the schedule, again, we're going to skip to the same schedule. The only change is going to be now on Fridays there's going to be multilingual streams. In most cases they're going to be in Russian, and the additional language is going to be in English. But in most cases I'm going to speak Russian there. And when Magic is going to... Okay, this is not good. And this is not the good thing to do. Yeah, we don't have enough there. So now we're both playing with top decks, and we have the upper hand, so I doubt that opponent will draw something that will mass destroy things. Yeah. Target player, Blitzwicker. But we need to be cautious. We definitely don't want to attack aggressively, because... or unless we have this. Damn! Damn what we have! Oh, wait a minute. Why I can't play it? I can't. Oh, damn. Let's just go with sacrificing this. Sacrifice this. It's not the best idea though, but we will do this either way. And we're actually winning, because opponent can block 8-7, and perfect. Good. We need to win because we need to get to the maximum cards earned. So yeah, so this is the thing. Quitter. So this is the thing in regards to this. What else I would say? Yeah, the schedule stays the same. We're still doing the same thing. The only thing we kind of like, again, separating things a little bit. The next thing that I'm thinking about right now, I don't know when exactly I'm going to implement this, but basically I will implement a new thing in stream that will kind of work with emotes, emoticons or something like this basically. But since we're not able to use emotes during the streams, I'm going to, like, because we don't have a partners program and basically we don't have affiliate and something like this, and I'm going to implement emotes in order to interact with audience in a little bit more entertaining way, because so far the only thing that I'm doing is just playing and non-stop talking about certain unnecessary probably things, and that's it, and keeping conversation hopefully going if people are going to be here. This is the only thing that I could do at this point, but I already, like, I definitely understand that I need to implement an entertaining element to it. And one of the ways for me to implement an entertaining element is to add something that could help interact with audience, help to portray my emotions, because again, I said previously that I'm not one of the like streamers that basically loud and all over the place and super mega exciting, and in terms of like physical appearance. I mean, I'm not going to scream, I'm not going to curse and all of these stuff, and because of this it kind of makes the stream a little bit like slow and not that exciting maybe. And by adding emotes, I believe we could create an interesting kind of dynamic. Or at least I definitely seeing in my mind how it could work in an awesome way. And I had this idea before, and I kind of talked myself into the belief that I don't want to work on these yet until open beta is going to be released. But then I thought, maybe we should work on them right now. Maybe we should start to implement them right now, because if I'm going to wait for an open beta and then implement them, it's not a super effective thing. The faster... oh, this is bad. Massive Destroyer. Okay. For instance, I'm going to have emote for this type of situation, and it's going to be much more interesting reaction than just me saying, okay, this is Massive Destroyer, that's it, massive removal or whatever. So again, I'm working on these things right now. Today I basically worked on designing and planning those things, and now I completely planned them out, and now it's just time to execute them. And in terms of execution, I need to realize them, so I need to come up with the perfect style that is going to work for the stream. And the cool thing is that they're going to work not only for Magic, but they're actually going to work for creative streams too, which is pretty awesome. And they will help me to create even the same type of emotes for YouTube, which is awesome too. So again, this idea that I have, basically, I will truly now start to invest a little bit more energy and time into stream. You gotta be kidding me. Nah. No matter what we're putting in play, opponent is just killing anything that we're putting in play. Each player shuffles their graveyard, struggle, deals damage to target creature equal to the number of lands you control. I don't know what this deck is all about. It's probably a net deck. Opponent is probably net decking, if I properly understand this. When opponent basically constantly drawing cards, searching for the library. I believe it's called net decking, if I understand this properly. What the heck is this? Whenever you cast a creature spell with power 4, 5, or 6, oh yeah, it might be a dragon deck. Whenever 4 damage to any target, and whenever you cast a creature spell with power 7, deals 4 damage to each opponent, each creature and planeswalker they control. You gotta be kidding me, this is too much. We have more than enough lands, so we need to draw cards, so we're going to cycle. You gotta be kidding me with this situation. So, we're not getting lucky at all. I mean, we slowly attacking the opponent, we have decent amount of lives, but not for a long time, because I believe opponent just needs to execute one combination and we're done. Oh, snap. And we're not going to be able to kill this thing, and we're going to lose all of our creatures, and we don't have any creatures. Yeah, this is our last match in this portion of the event, and we're going to switch on a different event. Okay, opponent reshuffles all things in the library, and we're freaking done because we're not getting needed cards, we're not getting creatures. You gotta be kidding me. This is bad. So we need, the thing is, even if we're going to get a creature, we're not going to be able to fight this creature with 7/6 because it has haste, hex proof, and we're done. And we continue to get lands. Yeah, kind of good game. We're done. We're not going to do anything. It's just pointless. Let's just not even extend this session. Let's just quit. Because there's 2 turns, opponent is just going to an attack, it's just going to be annoying. Skip it. Check the sound. Not going to be able to kill this thing, and we're going to use all of our creep. And we got 3, yeah, unfortunately we didn't get the 3rd win, so we're going to get only 4 cards if I properly remember, yep, instead of 6. And let's just see. I believe all these cards are going to be pretty bad. Okay, yeah, we not necessarily have a lot of these. It's probably a good thing. Okay, we have multiple copies of this, probably unnecessary. Okay, we have a lot of copies of this. Well, at least we got a different card of each, which is cool. And I don't believe that I have this. For each land you control, create a colorless treasure artifact token. Ooh, this is actually pretty cool. We could put it in our treasure seekers deck. So is this. It's pretty cool. We already have, again, a copy of this card. Okay, it's cool. Let's just go in another round, hopefully we'll be able to finish it. So, 10 more creatures to attack with, 2 2 additional matches to win and 4 lands to play, which is, I believe, super manageable, so let's just do that. So again, getting back to what I talked about in implementing new stuff into the stream, yeah, so again, I will start to work on these emotes tomorrow, and hopefully, I don't know how fast I'm going to create those, because I never created emotes. I don't have a clue how to do those. Again, I'm an artist, but I'm usually sticking to something realistic, not stylized, and for me, creating something stylistic, it's super weird, although I understand how styles work, and kind of I will at some point study different type of styles, and I will explore and will create my own styles, but at this point I'm not there yet, and because of this, I guess creating emotes is definitely going to be a weird thing to do for me personally, and I'm going to think about creating those emotes for future stream, I'm going to keep the perspective of later adding some of these emotes into an actual emotes on Twitch, which is definitely I'm going to think from that standpoint too, not just create them for outside of the chat interference, but try to create them basically in perspective. I'm probably going to block if opponent will attack, but I don't believe that Janny's Pride's Mate, one of the awesomest cards ever created for lifelink decks, is something that opponent will sacrifice. Although if opponent has 4 copies of it, why not? Yes, of course. Okay, right now we are in trouble. We need to put something big in play at this point. And by something big, I mean 3-4. And we will attack with 2-2, because I don't believe that opponent is going to block. I'm just going to deal damage. And opponent is also not going to attack, so... Oh, ooh, pretty cool hers. Enters the battlefield, becomes target of spells or abilities, and opponent controls, you gain 3 lives. Ooh, this is pretty cool. This is awesome. Never saw it. There's a lot of cards that I don't have a clue. Okay, 3, 4. We don't have anything with 4. That means that we're going to probably search. We have more than enough lands, it's better to search. Ooh, snap, this is perfect. I mean, how perfect is this? So let's just destroy one of the Janny's Primates. Play lands. And this is kind of the only thing that we could do. And stay in defense for now. Of course we could attack with 4-2, but I believe opponent was going to put something, so some enchantment or artifact is going to increase the life gain for each creature played or something like this. Because of this, we need to keep 4-5 in play. Another Chinese Primate. Yeah, this is life. Seriously? Seriously, this is the only thing that you have in this deck? Okay. Guess this is what it means to have fun. I don't believe that this is fun. It's annoying, but for someone it could be a fun thing to do. Whatever. So yeah. So next turn, hopefully we'll get something to kill for 4. Opponent decides not to attack, which is actually good for us. But again, we're still having freaking problems. Okay, this is actually a good thing. So let's just do that. So not all of our creatures are going to get +1, but enough creatures are going to get plus. This is a good thing. And again, attacking right now, it's not probably the best idea. Although we kind of have to push. Hopefully once we will put this in play, or this, we'll be able to establish some type of attacking strategy at this point. Yeah, this is one of the things that we need to definitely consider killing, because each time that opponent is going to basically, at the beginning of the step of your upkeep, opponent is going to gain life, and each time a Janny is going to become bigger and bigger and bigger. It's bad. It's bad, it's bad, it's bad. Oh, this is pretty bad. We're not getting things that we need. not getting things that we need. So I'm going to try to attack with 5-6 right now. And with 6-6. We'll see what opponent will do. And then if opponent tries to kill 5-6. Yeah, now we're going to sacrifice this and kill this. So we don't freaking need it. And we have only one blocker. So that means that opponent probably will attack with 5-5 right now. Although opponent might think that we have some type of growth that basically make this bigger. So good thing that opponent's not going to... Oh! So that's the combination of horses. Okay, cool. Now things become much worse. Yeah, we're going to lose that one. 100%. So yeah, I'm looking forward to work on these emotes. This is definitely an awesome thing. Again, I'm looking to the future, and I'm at the same time thinking about like current state and about now too. Ooh, snap! Okay, we definitely need to gain life, but we need to put this one and play more. Because this will, at least each upkeep will produce some tokens. Yeah, probably should put a +1 counter on this one. It was a mistake to put additional to there. We're not going to attack, keeping in block, staying in block. So at least now each turn we're going to create some blockers for Hajani's Primates or freaking horses or whatever. So let's just hope that that opponent is not going to gain any additional lives any soon. This is the only thing that we have at this point. Hope that opponent is not going to gain any additional lives. Okay, good. So now we will be able to kill a horse, the first, because if opponent is going to gain lives, horses are just going to become stronger and stronger. This is not something that we need. So let's just do this and this. We have too many targets to kill, and it's pretty hard to choose what's the proper target to choose. But the clear thing is that horses should go first. Aljanist could become bigger, but we will be able to block them. So again, we're not attacking yet. It's pointless. Opponent has too much things there. Could be an interesting match. I mean, we have upper hands, some sort of. Opponent has an upper hand too. We kind of go in the middle. Opponent has, of course, more potential, of course, especially with this one. So hopefully we will get some type of destroyer to kill this engine, because this is a problem. At the beginning of each upkeep and step, if you gain 5 or more lives this turn, create 4/4 white angel creature token with vigilance, and you may basically get until end of the turn this angel +2/+2 and lifelink. This is bad. It's going to create a lot of problems. So yeah, I probably could say how many emotes I have, because usually when people are working on emotes, they're creating a couple of emotes, 2, 3, 5, then they're basically increasing the number of emotes. Thing is, I have 24 emotes already. And they're pretty necessary. I mean, they're pretty interesting and they're pretty kind of cool. And they are unique for Magic, and they work for a lot of situations that we usually facing in Magic. And just because of this, they are that diverse. Okay, we need to think. Are we going to have... So, we don't have any dinosaurs, unfortunately, to use this thing on. So, it's going to cost 3. Because of this, again, we need to focus on destroying an angel. At this point, angel is definitely going to be a problem for us. Okay then. Right now it's better, yeah, it's actually better to play all things that we can. No. Let's just do this. Exert. No. Untap. Pay. Hopefully, yeah, that way we will tap less creatures. Oh, actually, it doesn't matter. We still have to pay the top 2. Damn it. Ugh. Okay, we could keep that one on top, which is actually pretty cool. 3, 4, 5, we're going to gain 5 life, and next turn we'll be able to play this one and gain another 5 life, which is pretty cool. Perfecto. Of course, we're not attacking, continuing. Let's hope that opponent doesn't have any massive thing. But again, massive destroyers are usually applicable to everyone. Opponent might choose to do that though. Opponent might have a massive destroyer for this deck. That could kill all whites and yeah. Woohoo! We win! We won, which is pretty cool. So yeah, and I guess 24 emotes it's a lot. The problem why there are 12 of them, because each emote have an opposite to it. So we have a emote that creates a one reaction, and there's an opposite reaction of that reaction. I'm not going to give you any details at this point because I might change those, and I also want to kind of surprise. Okay, go. We get our first win. I guess this is going to be our last run. After that, we're going to finish the session. So yeah, let's just continue to talk. Again, 25 emotes is freaking awesome. So this is the emote. So where they are. So you're not going to see anything, which is a good thing. So there's basically emotes. They're connected in a certain way. Yeah, they're connected in a certain way. There's an explanation what they're going to be named. So the names for those explanations for these emotes, and also depiction how they're going to look, and what they're going to potentially represent. And all of these emotes are basically, I based those emotes on magic conditions, such as, for instance, Mana Flood. Okay. We're going to play this. I'm going to pay 1 life, unfortunately, to put it in play. Yeah, so basically, like conditions like Mana Flood and Mana Screw, for instance, counter spells and return spells. So nothing super unique about it. But the thing is, with this, you have a lot of possibilities to create awesome things. I mean, if you have, for instance, like Mana Flood, then the opposite of Mana Flood, of course, Mana Screw. And we're going to have emote for Mana Screw and for Mana Flood. And each time that we're going to face Mana Flood and Mana Screw, we're going to basically show these emotes on stream. And it's going to kind of create this interesting way of interacting with the audience, hopefully. And again, some of the streamers are probably not necessarily going to talk about those things during their streams, but again, I'm pretty open in terms of this. I don't want to hide anything from my viewers. If I have certain ideas and I'm 100% sure that I'm going to realize them, I'm going to speak about those. Why not? Yes, at some point it could create like a weird situation, like you are somewhat obliged, like they create a certain obligation. And you have to do. Oh snap! Oh, how awesome it could be to put it in play. Like right now, well, we have creatures in play because. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. So yeah, we have to pay a lot of lives to do that. It's kind of not a cool thing, but still. Snap! Seriously, 4 lands and we have 10/10 creature in play. How cool is that, man? How cool is that? Next turn we will deal like 16 damage, even more. Oh, actually we're going to win the game. Yeah, if opponent is not going to play any defense, we're going to win the game. Yep, we're winning the game. We're winning the game regardless, by the way. We're winning the game this way, by sacrificing one of those lands, which is not the best idea though. And we're dealing exactly needed damage. Damn, that was cool. That was quick. But it's fine. We have 2 matches more to kind of finish the session, and hopefully, yeah, we're going to continue until we're going to finish the whole event. So yeah, and basically the same things like this. So, and since we know that Magic has a lot of different kind of situations, and usually all of these situations are constantly reoccurring situations. So all these situations are not something that we're not experiencing on a constant basis. We're constantly dealing with the counter spells, we're constantly dealing with returners at some point, we definitely dealing with aggro decks, with control decks, and for all of these situations I basically designed about, again, 24 emotes, and there are a couple of situations that are not that recurring, but they're still recurring enough to create emotes for them. And the cool thing is, it's definitely going to be interesting, I hope, for the viewers to get accustomed to these emotes. So right now the only thing that I need to do from my part, besides creating those emotes for myself, of course, is to make them as cool as possible and as clear as possible. So I kind of already designed those emotes the way that they have to be clear. So the clear distinction of visual understanding how we could portray Mana Flood, it's there already, how we could portray Mana Screw or whatever. So everything like this is already there. And the names are going to be a little bit more like overall. For instance, for Mana Flood and Mana Screw, they're not going to be named Mana Screw and Mana Flood. They're going to be named too much and not enough, which is a little bit more general way of depicting those, which we could use outside of the Magic, which is the whole idea. Okay, so what do we have here? We need to put Dinosaur in play that we don't have, unfortunately. We could choose to fight some like creatures, but now let's just focus on putting lands in play. Yep, we're going to do that. And yeah, there's no reason to fight anyone, so we'll just skip that. We need dinosaurs to make this one 3/3, and then we will start to use fighting things to kill those small guys. I believe this is a combo deck. We already played against a similar deck. It's pretty interesting deck. As I probably remember, it basically works with putting a lot of like not super important creatures in play, putting a lot of artifacts in play, a lot of things that basically reduce the cost of artifacts or produce artifacts for 0, and then basically executing a big combo with dealing paying 20. Basically, this deck, as I probably understand, focuses on lifelink, and then once lifelink is established, you basically put an artifact, pay 50 life, and deal 50 damage. That's it. We already lost this way. It was pretty crazy. Ugh. So because of this, we not necessarily have to focus on killing the creatures, because they're not going to be that important. But instead, we need to focus on putting things in play. So let's just do exactly that. While we can, we're going to put things in play and focus on attack, because the faster we're going to kill opponent, the better. The longer we stay in play, the more opportunities opponent has to create this combination. The only problem is opponent is not net decking, so that means that there's probably not going to be that many things like this. Oh yeah, opponent starts to net deck. Yeah. Oh, what's happening? Is it glitch? No. Okay, this already has a trampler. I'm going to keep those things for later. Right now, let's just go with this and kill this Thopter to not allow opponent to use it. Because I don't need that. I mean, opponent might bring those artifacts back and put them back on the battlefield. This is not something that we need. And also, yeah, and also let's just go with +1, kill one of these, and attack with both guys, which will force opponent into probably block 3/2 and losing 1/3. Okay, weird choice, but it's fine. So yeah, looking forward to create those emotes. I love to implement new changes. This is one of the things that I am like one of the ways that I'm keeping myself busy in terms of pushing my my streams and basically my content out there, because when you're creating content for such like I'm getting closer to new update. I'm getting closer to a year of streaming, and the closer I get to this point, the harder for me sometimes we probably could attack with 3-4 and 6-6 and not tap it. But again, I wanted to tap it just for the sake of making it accessible for full attack. I don't believe that we're going to have troubles with lands. Opponent will continue to reproduce, this is a problem. At the beginning of your upkeep, you gain 1 life. Sacrifice, draw a card. Yeah, this is definitely this type of deck. We need to go super fast right now. Yeah, I don't believe that opponent will be able to execute the whole combo, because opponent doesn't have enough cards in hand, doesn't have enough lives. Although never say never. Things might happen. It's never the end. Oh no, oh no, yeah, this is the beginning. Yeah, so now opponent will start to replant things in the battlefield for free. Next turn, not this turn probably. And it's going to be bad. So we have to do everything in our power to kill opponent next turn. Yep, good. Opponent decides to give up, which is good. So yeah, this is basically the thing that I'm talking about the streams. Again, I definitely want to push through. Again, when you create content for such a long time without any feedback necessarily, it becomes frustrating at some point. What the heck? We didn't know what type of card we acquired though, because it was a glitch in thing. Aww. Okay, let's see what type of cards we're going to get. Yeah, this is the last thing we're not going to play anymore. Again, we get the same thing, the same thing, the same thing, the same thing. This is the complete replica of the previous thing, which is stupid. Seriously, another? You gotta be kidding me. This is the 3rd copy. Why I need 3 copies? Why would I need even 2 copies of this card? It's super crazy. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. This is bad. I mean, this is one of the reasons why we're never going to play Brutal Delight. This is one time only we're playing Brutal Delight. We're not going to play it anymore. So, and this is a good way to kind of switch to the actual, like, somewhat a new portion of the season. So, since the beginning, like, we streamed for about, like, 5 streams. It's not that much. Why this opened? Okay, destroy target creature tapped, draw a card, -2, Titanic Growth, counter spill. Seriously, another cancel. Ugh. Oh, another copy. Yeah, in most cases, nothing that we could add in our current decks. We could think about creating a sideboard for our green deck and putting a lot of buffs on it, but I don't believe that we're going to do that. So yeah, that's it for today. The last thing that I'm going to cover, I guess, is just going to finish talking about implementing new things, and yeah. So again, when you stream for such a long time and you don't have any audience and any feedback, at some point it becomes pretty frustrating, and most of the people are quitting after 4 or 6 months of streaming. Some people are even quitting after 2 months. If they are setting too crazy expectations for themselves. I didn't set that much of expectations for myself. I started slow. I started not from the main content. I started from a kind of secondary and tertiary content, and because of this, I switched constantly things. I added new elements to streams. I updated the ways that I'm streamed. I streamed at the beginning without camera, then I added camera for a certain period of time. I streamed without colors in camera. Right now we have colors, like they're important. Yeah, and again, basically a lot of changes was added, and for me, the one thing that that helps me to keep going morally is not getting bummed out about certain, like, the lack of results or whatever, is implementing constantly new changes. So not staying on one thing and doing the same thing, constantly basically expanding, growing, and implementing new things. And this part, like starting from September, I'm going to hopefully bring back creative streams. At least this is a plan. September 3rd, probably, we're going to bring back creative streams on Twitch. We're going to focus more on kind of interacting and less on creating things and like doing things, because again, the first year of streaming almost, I focused more on creating a content and not necessarily interacting with the audience, and maybe because of this I kind of isolated myself from the audience, and whatever people came to my stream, they right away saw this energy that I'm not necessarily into talking with them, or maybe they just wasn't interested in what I did. So again, there's a lot of factors when it comes down to being successful as a streamer and as a content creator overall, and there's a lot of things get to it, and there's no formula of success. The only thing that you could do is, I guess, is to learn on your mistakes, constantly evolve, create new possibilities for yourselves and for your audience to see you and to discover you, and hopefully to stay with you, and hopefully at some point build a awesome, healthy, and peaceful community of different types of people that will grow and evolve within each other, and they will help to grow the channel itself and the community itself, and that way we will impact more people and hopefully change a lot of lives in a positive way, because this is one of my mantras of my channel, and basically my mottos is to gain knowledge, experience life, gain knowledge, create your story, and tell your story. This is basically the mantra, or so-called the motto of Alex Connects, is to experience life by chatting with people, interacting with people, learning new things, basically just life in general. Then gain knowledge, like not just getting experience from life, but gain knowledge, learn something, constantly evolve and up your game as an artist, up your skills, basically constantly evolve. Create your story, of course, is to create something, not just consume, but actually focus on creating something your own. Again, it might be your personal story, like the life story, and then using your life story to kind of inspire others, or just creating your story. What I'm doing right now, I'm kind of developing some sort of my brand, Alex Connects, and by doing this, I'm basically creating my story. And hopefully I will inspire others to do the same thing. And again, not everything is like perfectly awesome. I started almost a year ago and I get almost nowhere in terms of like the results, and for some people it could be frustrating, but again, as long as you stick into those 4 things, and the 4th one is tell your story, which the thing that I'm doing now, I'm creating my story, and at the same time I'm telling my story. I'm not just creating content for the sake of creating an empty content that is not going to be helpful at all. My intentions is to help in any way possible that I can, and I might not be a right person to help people in playing Magic. I don't believe that, because I'm not that good at Magic, but again, Magic right here is just to create a community, a variable community of different people, not just creators, but people who enjoy art, people who loves to play these type of games, and who interested into developing their own games like this. And this is the whole reason why I'm studying and streaming Magic overall. So again, just believe, this is like me talking to myself and trying to inspire myself and at the same time inspire others. Believe in yourself, stick to your guns, believe that whatever you're going to do, at some point you will get in the place that you want to be, and this is kind of the thing to go by. And again, the last thing that I'm going to say is, again, by implementing constantly new things, this helps me to stay motivated, this helps me to stay engaged into kind of developing this brand as a brand. which is not an easy thing, because once the brand established and you will know what this brand is going to be, it's pretty hard to actually make it a brand, because right now it's just an identity, it's not a brand. But to make it a brand is something bigger. It's an audience, it's a product that you create, it's a people that you will attract, it's a overall audience, it's a like, and it's a reaction on your brand, it's a view of your brand from other people, how other people are viewing your brand, how they're kind of seeing your brand, what they're seeing your brand. And this is the thing about the brand. It's a lot of things. It's a marketing, it's a lot of like business stuff that I don't necessarily like, but again, we have to do it, because if you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to do those things. You have to think about those things. You can't just sit on your bottom in a stool, play games, and not think about those things and hoping that things will come to you like magically. No, you have to work, and this is one of the things that I want to put out there. And there's a lot of people who are doing the same, and they're much more successful. And again, it's just the beginning, and I completely understand this. And because of this, I'm not frustrated about lack of success, because we don't have any viewers, because we don't have any community. At some point, we have it. So it's just a matter of belief, sticking to your beliefs, and pushing forward, learning, growing. Again, to repeat the Alex Connects motto: experience life, gain knowledge, create your story, and tell your story. These 4 phrases are the core of the Alex Connects identity. And of course, there's multiple things that we're working with that to push these agendas and push these kind of positive things. So yeah, that's it for this portion of the session and the session overall. Thank you for watching, thank you for being here, have a nice day or night, and see you in the next session, which again in English is going to be next Tuesday, and in Russian is going to be next Friday. And again, if you want to join us on Fridays in English, you can do this, because it's somewhat going to be multilingual stream. I completely will be able to talk with you in English too. So English audience, welcome to, or English speaking audience, welcome to, should I say properly. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching again, and bye. Hopefully Tony is alive.